Good to see you. It's been a while. How are you?
Yeah, it's been a while, John. Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
I interviewed you in 2013, and now you have all the funding and the success and a great product. Congratulations.
Yeah, you were one of the first to acknowledge us, so thanks for that.
So I love your comment about why should people put up with slow databases and have it all here in real time. Tell us more about that slogan, the age of real time.
Sure. So first of all, real-time data is here and is real. And the demand for real-time data is growing actually every day. And this is because we all live in the fast lane nowadays. And since data is the core of everything, it must be processed and served in real time. And this is very obvious when looking at customer-facing apps. Instant response is mandatory because the new generation of users, they don't have the patience to wait. They would like to click and get it, tap their phones and get it, and if they don't get it immediately, they move on. Now, the main bottleneck in end-to-end application performance and the thing that can kill user experience is the database response time. Databases are slow, and even the modern ones respond in anywhere between 10 to 100 milliseconds on average, which cannot guarantee a reasonable user experience. So therefore, all of them are using this caching layer, which is basically duplicating the data most on demand into memory. Now, Redis started as a very popular caching system, and Redis is still popular in this use case, but during our 10 years journey, enterprises have realized that instead of keeping, as I said, side by side a slow database and a caching layer to speed it up, they can leverage Redis and especially Redis Enterprise and enjoy 10 to 100x performance advantage over any other product.
I see no reason why people should put up with slow databases, so good point. I have to ask you a question.
And there are many other, just to complete this point, there are many other use cases. So if you look at, use cases like real-time predictions, decision-making engines for ads bidding, ad serving, et cetera, I can, mention many of those. They all must respond instantaneously. So the era of real-time applications and real-time data has definitely started. And I think that it is here to stay.
What about all the different database types out there? There isn't one to rule the world. You have real-time needs, time series, graph, JSON. These are, and this is diverse databases. Can you support the speed for everything?
So, there are a few flavors here. Some vendors, such as some of the cloud providers, support what we call polyglot persistence, whereby they offer a different separate database for any data model. We thought that although it can work, maybe a single database that supports all the most popular data models can work better, especially if you need the performance. And this is why over time we close all those gaps, and today we support most modern data modeling technologies with Redis. And they all enjoy the speed and simplicity of Redis.
You started Redis 10 years ago with the open source ethos. It's been very successful. Do you think that the business model has proven itself over time? What's your reaction to that?
So in general, the benefits of building an open source company is faster market adoption and market traction, obviously. Developers get to know the code and become comfortable with it much quicker than in the case of closed source, and they can embed it in their designs much earlier. However, if this open source becomes very popular, there is a risk that the creators won't be able to maximize their investment commercially due to competition by commercial providers of the open source. And we all know of several open source companies that were forced to move away from open source license to a closed license in order to avoid unfair competition for companies that just piggybacked on their open source without contributing to it. So this business model proved itself for some companies and failed for others. I'm happy to say that in the case of Redis, it definitely proved itself.
What are you most proud of over the past 10 years? If you look back and look at the successes and the effort, the people, the accomplishments, the code, what are you most proud of?
So I'm mostly proud of building an A team of super talented people that develop open source Redis, and Redis Enterprise, which is our commercial offering in parallel. I'm also very proud of the Redis community and Redis fans that continue to be enthusiastic about Redis, continue to contribute to Redis, and continue to include Redis in their apps, even 12 years after this all started. And I'm very proud of all the visionaries that understood 10 to 15 years ago that real-time data will play a central role in the tech world. And first and foremost, Salvatore Sanfilippo, the creator of Redis, and then the folks at Redis Labs, Yiftach Schulman, Yossi Gottlieb, Oran Agra, and all other team leaders and tech experts in the company.
You know, just so you know, we are a customer of Redis. theCUBE uses it. We love it. It's a real time, is great. I got to ask you, with all the venture capital and money flowing into the market, it seems that everyone's jumping on data technologies with the venture, promising this or that. There's obviously demand for real time. You got edge, you got cloud and hybrid, all this new development, modern applications. The need for speed, the need for low latency, the need for multiple database support. What do you think the money is going to be used for? Do you think it's viable? What's your reaction to all the funding and all the entrepreneurship happening?
So first of all, I think that investors make the right choice by investing in these areas, because we all know that the amounts of data that businesses are accumulating today is unprecedented, and this cannot be managed with legacy databases. And in addition, digital transformation is changing the way apps are built, deployed, operated, etc. And data is at the core of all this. So the ability to quickly modernize application and augment how they use data is invaluable. Now, the database, as we know it, is evolving, and we see this with new data models, increased automation, extended operational capabilities, and also different levels of performance. In analytics, this is all about processing huge amounts of data. Any business needs to analyze its KPIs and take decisions. And also, when you look at the role of data in machine learning and artificial intelligence, where you build algorithms, models, etc. from data, and then you manage feature stores that run on data. So all this creates huge demand for new database, data platform technologies. And I think that this fuels the growing investments in the field. Now, Yeah, please go on.
Go ahead. No, it's about the investments in the field. You're continuing.
So the question, of course, is, we raised like $100 million about 6-7 months ago, and we most recently raised another $110 million. And the question is, why do you need that money, and what are you going to do with this? So first of all, if you look at all successful enterprise software companies before their IPOs, so the common attribute is fast growth, and we have set aggressive growth goals for ourselves. And in order to achieve them, we have to spend. So our priorities in spending are, first of all, continuing the investments in open source Redis from a technology and community perspective. And this RedisConf is just one example of the type of investments that we are making in the Redis community. And then widening the competitive edge of Redis Enterprise by adding features and expanding the use case for developers. We would like to continue increasing what we call the beyond cache part of the business, and therefore we need to invest heavily in product capabilities which expand the use case coverage of Redis beyond caching. We also would like to invest more in our cloud business. We see many of our on-prem enterprise customers starting their migration journey to the cloud, and we want to continue providing them the same Redis experience they had on-prem, but with a fully managed and automated service on the cloud. And then another important area of focus would be machine learning and artificial intelligence. We found that many machine learning powered apps already use Redis to store machine learning features in online feature stores. And we think that this is a natural evolution for Redis. So we now push strongly towards making Redis and Redis Enterprise the de facto standard in this space. And finally, you always need to continue to grow your sales and marketing teams to reach, the massive opportunity ahead of us in global 2,000 companies. So all in all, we have very big plans, as you can imagine, and all towards the goal of making Redis the de facto data platform for any real-time use case.
So do you think Redis is so popular that it's going to be good for business or good for the community? And it's very popular. Is that a good or bad thing for Redis Labs?
So,
Actually, got a lot of cash, so that's good.
The Redis open source project was started by Salvatore Sanfilippo in 2009. And in a relatively short time, it became very, very popular by word of mouth, basically, without any investment in promoting it. Now, how popular, by the way, just to give you the perspective, 6 million Redis containers are launched every day on Docker Hub alone. Now, such popularity, is definitely a blessing for anyone that wants to commercialize Redis. And the open source license of Redis is BSD, which is a very permissive license, meaning that anyone can adopt and modify the source code. So several companies, and especially the leading cloud providers, created at a very early stage fully managed Redis services based on open source Redis. And today they sell Redis to their clients for billions of dollars every year. Now we, as community leaders and the largest contributors to open source Redis, were able to build a successful business by expanding the capabilities of Redis beyond just caching. And we talked a little bit about that. So I think that the bottom line is that, popular open source, sometimes it works, sometimes it does not work so well. We were able to leverage the popularity of open source Redis and become successful with the commercial product based on it. But I must say that it wasn't easy and required a lot of work.
Ofer, it's been great to see you. I would say that when I interviewed you on theCUBE in 2013, you were just getting started. You were on that vision of data, real time, and what a great community. Congratulations for all your success.
Thanks much, John. Pleasure to talk to you.
Congratulations, and may you guys continue to make a great product. It's fantastic, and developers love it. Who doesn't love low latency, high performance from modern applications? Ofer Bengal, co-founder and CEO of Redis Labs, here for the post-keynote Fireside Chat.